Good evening, parents of third graders from room 22. My name is Mr. Sassetti, and I would like to welcome you to our virtual back to school night. This is my presentation for you, and I'm going to be hitting on three main things in this short video. One is a broad overview of our third grade curriculum. Two, I want to give you a quick highlight of some aspects of our room. And three, I would like to speak to the parents of our remote learners and give you an idea of what to expect moving forward, as well as talk about some further ideas I have for engaging and challenging your children as they learn from home. So first things first, let's talk about our curriculum. Starting with language arts, we are going to be doing a whole lot of reading and writing, and through repetition, refine those two important skills. When it comes to writing, I want to work on letter formation, formulating complete sentences and more complex types of sentences, and working on their spelling and improving their punctuation, capitalization, as well as learning to write different types of pieces: narrative writing, opinion or persuasive writing, letter writing, and informative writing. And with reading, I want to improve their reading fluency, their reading prosody, and help them decode unfamiliar words are important skills we're going to be hitting on this year. Moving on to math, we'll be working on adding and subtracting larger numbers. They're pretty good with single digit, double digit. We're going to go up to 3, 4 digit numbers. Introducing multiplication and division. They're at the very early stages of multiplication. Division is pretty new to them, so we're going to be developing those skills this year. Introducing fractions and measurement of time, volume, distance, mass, and touching on a bit of geometry, identifying different types of shapes, as well as understanding area and perimeter. When it comes to science, we're starting off the year with the life sciences, studying plants and animals, different types of environments and ecosystems. From there, we move into physical science, teaching them about simple machines, as well as the basics of force and motion. Then we move on to earth science around the end of the second trimester, beginning the third trimester, studying rocks and minerals, different types of fossils and the names for these fossils. And then throughout the year, we study STEM concepts and the scientific method, formulating a testable hypothesis, asking questions of our world around us, and learning to develop experiments to solve and answer those questions. Moving on to social studies, we start with ancient civilizations, move into politics and economics. We talk about pioneers and Illinois history, and part of that will be tied into our Little House on the Prairie novel, one of the handful of novels we will be working through this year. So tying in our social studies concepts into some fiction reading. We're going to be studying geography and maps, teaching the cardinal directions, how to understand the compass rose, how to study a basic map, and we're going to be talking about communities in different parts of the world, how different parts of the world differ in their communities and the types of people that live there. And that takes us to our last subject, religion. We're going to study the Apostles' Creed, the meaning behind the Apostles' Creed. We're going to study the liturgical year and the order of the Mass, why the Mass progresses the way it does. We're going to study the Virgin Mary and her connections to the Rosary, as well as how to pray the Rosary and what the different beads mean. And we are going to study the parables of Jesus, the lessons they teach, as well as the lives of some of the more notable saints. So that is your curriculum overview. I'm going to take you to just a couple places around the room to show you a bit of what we've got going on in class. So behind me is an anchor chart, which anytime I introduce a new concept, I'm going to break it down, the broad parts of the lesson, into an anchor chart that they can use as a visual reference. And then once they're done with the lesson, I will hang this up somewhere around the room so they can continue to reference it anytime we talk about any of these concepts. This one has to do with making predictions. Over here, I have some of the other ones we worked on so far this year. Here's our anchor chart for prefixes and suffixes. Up there we have voice levels, which is some basic beginning of the year information. Over here we have the number grid, which we're just starting in math. And last but not least, over here we have two-dimensional shapes, which we have just touched on a bit, and these will rotate throughout the year based on what we are working on. The last thing I'd like to show you in the classroom is our word wall, which is going to help a lot with our writing. So anytime a student is unsure how to spell a word, I hand them one of these index cards. I spell the word for them and have them write it in their own hand, and we post it up here as a permanent reference word wall. For now, they're coming over here to reference quite a bit. As the year progresses, this will become ingrained and hopefully improve their spelling. That is the point of our word wall. So those are a few highlights from around the classroom. And last but not least, for my parents of remote learners, I'd like to tell you a couple ideas I have moving forward to keep your students is feeling as much a part of this classroom as they can, feeling they have a relationship with me, and feeling they have a relationship with their classmates. So we're going to start a pen pal system for our in-person people. I'm going to have my students in class write letters to our students at home, and then we're going to have students at home respond in writing as well. This is going to work on their writing skills and their letter writing skills, so I'm excited to get that up and running in these few coming weeks. And last, I'm going to make more time for them to check in during the day. Lots of teachers are leaving their cameras running, their Zooms running, for students to check in whenever they feel the need. They can grab me for a quick question, or they can just check in to see what we're working on in class and jump in and participate if they feel like it. So 2 big changes I'm going to be making in the coming weeks. And of course, I look forward to staying in communication with you, working with you, taking suggestions, and finding ways I can better serve those students at home. So I threw a whole lot at you. I hope you found this useful, and too bad you can't be in here in person, but I'm really pleased to be able to serve your students this year and to work with you as their parents, and I'm looking forward to having a fantastic rest of our 3rd grade. Thank you so much for watching. I will be in touch. Bye now.